Liam Carter stood before the floor-to-ceiling windows of his penthouse in San Francisco, adjusting his tailored navy suit. At 36, he was at the pinnacle of success. A self-made tech mogul with an empire worth billions. His achievements were splashed across the covers of major magazines, and tonight he was preparing for what society deemed the event of the year. His wedding to Abigail Clark, the brilliant and glamorous daughter of a media tycoon. The wedding promised to be an extravagant affair, a testament to Liam's wealth and influence. Every detail, from the Michelin-starred catering to the handcrafted invitations, screamed opulence. Yet, amidst the excitement, Liam held on to one specific guest list entry with peculiar interest. Anna Brooks, his college ex-girlfriend. It had been nearly 6 years since Liam last saw Anna. Back then, he had been a driven young entrepreneur, eager to seize opportunities, even at the cost of leaving her behind. Inviting her to the wedding wasn't merely a polite gesture. Liam's intentions were far less noble. He wanted Anna to see the life she had missed out on, a life he believed she could never match. But life has a way of rewriting plans. What began as an act of ego would soon force Liam to confront truths he never anticipated, unraveling a carefully constructed world he thought was perfect. Liam Carter sat in his sleek office overlooking the San Francisco Bay, turning a gold-embossed invitation in his hands. The wedding invitations were nothing short of perfection, each one custom-designed and meticulously curated. But there was one particular envelope he couldn't stop staring at. The one addressed to Anna Brooks. "Are you sure about this, Liam?" asked Sophie, his longtime personal assistant, standing cautiously by the door. "Absolutely," Liam replied, leaning back in his leather chair with a self-assured smirk. "Anna needs to see the man I've become. She needs to understand that I made the right choice." Sophie hesitated, her lips pressing into a thin line, but she said nothing further. Liam handed her the envelope. "Make sure she gets it personally." As Sophie left, Liam's mind drifted to the last time he had seen Anna. It was a cold October evening, and the rain poured relentlessly outside their tiny college apartment. She had begged him to stay, her voice trembling with urgency. "I need to tell you something," she had said, but Liam's focus was already on his career. He had just secured funding for his first tech startup in London, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and nothing, not even Anna's pleas, could hold him back. For years, Anna's tearful expression had lingered in the corners of his memory, a quiet ache he refused to acknowledge, dismissing it as part of the sacrifices required for success. All 6 years later, sending her an invitation wasn't just about closure, it was about proving to himself that leaving her behind had been the right decision, no matter how uneasy it sometimes made him feel. "Let's see if she even shows up," he muttered to himself, placing the remaining stack of invitations on his desk. What Liam didn't realize was that Anna's response would not only confirm her attendance, but also change the course of his life in ways he couldn't begin to imagine. The countdown to Liam Carter's wedding had begun, and every detail reflected his ambition for perfection. The ceremony was to take place at an exclusive vineyard estate nestled in Napa Valley, complete with panoramic views of the rolling hills. Abigail Clark had insisted on the venue, and Liam had spared no expense to ensure it became a spectacle worthy of their combined reputations. Florists worked tirelessly to hang cascades of white orchids imported from Thailand, while a team of world-renowned chefs finalized the 7-course menu. The guest list boasted tech giants, Hollywood stars, and prominent figures from the media world, each eager to witness the union of power and prestige. Amid the frenzy of finalizing details, Liam found himself distracted. Each time Sophie approached him with an update, he glanced at her expectantly. Finally, she delivered the news. "Anna confirmed her attendance," Sophie said, her voice carefully neutral. Liam felt a flicker of something, relief, excitement, or perhaps unease, but he quickly buried it beneath his well-practiced composure. Liam nodded, feigning indifference, but a flicker of anticipation crossed his face. He imagined her walking through the grand vineyard gates, dressed modestly, perhaps overwhelmed by the sheer scale of the event. Would she regret how things ended between them? Would she see the empire he had built without her and wonder what might have been? Abigail interrupted his thoughts, breezing into the room with her signature confidence. "Liam, the chef needs our approval on the final menu," she said, wrapping her arms around him. "Of course," he replied, his voice steady, though his thoughts lingered elsewhere. As the wedding day drew closer, Liam remained fixated on Anna. In his mind, her presence at the event was no longer just a footnote. It had become central to his vision of success, a final flourish to the narrative he had crafted for himself. The day of the wedding dawned clear and bright, the vineyard estate glowing under the golden Californian sun. Helicopters buzzed overhead, carrying high-profile guests to the event. Reporters swarmed outside the gates, eager for a glimpse of the soon-to-be married couple. Liam stood in the grand foyer, his tailored tuxedo pristine, adjusting his diamond cufflinks. Guests mingled in the garden, sipping champagne as an orchestra played classical pieces. Yet Liam's attention was fixated on the entrance, his nerves taut. "Mr. Carter," Sophie whispered discreetly, stepping into the room. "She's here." Liam turned sharply, his heart quickening. He moved to a strategic spot near the staircase, ensuring he had the perfect vantage point. Anna walked in, her steps unhurried, wearing a simple yet elegant navy blue dress. Her long auburn hair framed her face, now more mature yet as striking as he remembered. But it wasn't her appearance that froze Liam in place, it was the child walking beside her, a boy, no older than 5, clutching her hand and staring wide-eyed at the grand decorations. Liam's breath caught in his throat, his mind scrambling to make sense of what he was seeing. The boy's green eyes mirrored his own, his tousled dark hair and curious expression an uncanny reflection of Liam's childhood. It was as if the universe had thrust a mirror of his younger self before him, demanding he face what he had abandoned. "Mom, look at all the flowers," the boy exclaimed, his voice filled with wonder. Liam's grip tightened on the marble railing as the puzzle pieces clicked into place. Anna's desperation the day he left, the unanswered calls and emails in the months that followed. It all made sense now. This child, Lucas, was his son. "Liam?" Abigail's voice startled him. She appeared beside him, radiant in her wedding gown. But concern marred her expression. "What's wrong?" Before he could answer, Lucas stumbled on the staircase, and Liam instinctively moved toward him. But Anna was faster, steadying her son. "Careful, Lucas," she said softly, crouching to adjust his bow tie. The name hit Liam like a lightning bolt. Lucas. The same name as his late father, a man Liam had idolized. Abigail followed his gaze, her suspicion deepening. "Who is that boy?" she demanded. Lucas, now steady, turned his bright green eyes toward Liam. "Mom, who is that man?" Anna stood, her expression calm but resolute, and their eyes met for the first time in 6 years. "He's the groom," she replied evenly, taking Lucas's hand. The room seemed to tilt around Liam. The carefully curated event, the image of perfection he had built, all of it began to crumble in the presence of the one truth he could no longer ignore. As the crowd bustled around them, Liam felt as if the world had narrowed to the sight of Anna and Lucas. His mind raced, drowning out the soft strains of the orchestra playing in the garden. "Liam!" Abigail's voice cut through his haze. "What is going on?" Liam ignored her, his gaze fixed on Lucas. Slowly, he approached Anna, his voice unsteady. "Anna, can we talk?" Now, Anna met his eyes with a composed expression, though her hand rested protectively on Lucas's shoulder. "Lucas, sweetheart," she said softly, "why don't you go with Aunt Claire for a bit? She's waiting by the garden." A woman nearby stepped forward, smiling warmly at Lucas and extending her hand. Lucas hesitated but nodded, casting a curious glance back at Liam as he walked away. The air between Liam and Anna was heavy with unspoken words as they stepped into a quiet corner of the estate. "Why didn't you tell me?" Liam began, his voice cracking with a mix of anger and regret. "I tried," Anna replied evenly, though her composure wavered. "I called, I emailed, dozens of times. But you were in London. building your empire, and your assistant made it clear you didn't have time for me." Liam rubbed his temples, memories of those early days flooding back. He remembered the relentless meetings, the late nights spent coding and pitching investors. He had thought cutting ties with Anna was a necessary step toward his goals. "You should have insisted," he said, his voice rising. "This is my son, Anna. I had a right to know." "And I had a right to be heard," she retorted, her voice trembling with long-suppressed frustration. Her hands clenched into fists at her sides, the composure she had worked so hard to maintain beginning to crack. "But you chose your career over everything else. Do you think I wanted to raise Lucas alone? Do you think it was easy?" Her words struck Liam like a blow. He looked away, ashamed. "I didn't know," he muttered. Anna sighed, her tone softening. "I didn't want to bring him into a world where he felt unwanted. I did what I had to do to protect him." "I want to fix this," Liam said firmly, looking into her eyes. "I need to be part of his life." Anna crossed her arms, wary. "It's not that simple, Liam. I can't just let you waltz in and disrupt everything." "I'll do whatever it takes," he said, his voice raw with emotion. "Please, Anna, let me prove I can be the father he deserves." Anna studied him for a long moment. "If you're serious, you'll have to prove it with actions, not words. Lucas comes first." Liam stood motionless as Anna's words echoed in his mind. Prove it with actions, not words. For the first time in years, the man who thrived on control and calculated decisions felt completely untethered. Abigail's sharp voice broke through his thoughts. "Liam, explain this right now. Who is that woman? Who is that child?" Turning to face his fiancée, Liam's voice was calm but resolute. "That boy is my son." The color drained from Abigail's face as gasps rippled through the nearby guests. "What?" she hissed, her carefully composed facade cracking. "I didn't know about him until today," Liam continued, his voice steady. "But now that I do, I can't pretend this wedding, or anything else, matters more than he does." "You're serious," Abigail said, her tone laced with disbelief. "You're gonna ruin everything we've built because of some woman from your past?" "This isn't about the past," Liam said, his voice firm. "It's about doing the right thing now. I can't stand here and promise myself to you while ignoring my responsibilities as a father." Abigail's expression turned icy. "Do you have any idea what this will cost you? The scandal, the humiliation, my family?" "I'll pay whatever price," Liam interrupted. "But I'm calling off the wedding." Abigail stared at him, her shock quickly turning to fury. "You're making the biggest mistake of your life," she snapped, before storming out of the room, her parents trailing behind her. Liam's assistant Sophie approached cautiously, lowering her voice. "What should I tell the guests?" "Tell them the truth," Liam replied, his shoulders squared. "The wedding is canceled for personal reasons. Ask them to respect our privacy." As Sophie moved to handle the fallout, Liam turned back to the garden. From a distance, he spotted Anna and Lucas near the fountain, the boy pointing excitedly at the water jets. For the first time in years, Liam felt a strange sense of clarity. He had no idea how to repair the damage he'd caused, but he was ready to try. With a deep breath, he walked toward them, leaving behind the image of perfection he had spent so long building, and stepping into an uncertain but promising new chapter. The days following the canceled wedding were a whirlwind of headlines. Furious phone calls from Abigail's family and business associates questioning Liam's judgment. But Liam ignored the noise. His focus had shifted entirely to Lucas and the family he had almost lost forever. Rebuilding trust with Anna wasn't easy. She agreed to let him spend time with Lucas, but under strict conditions. There would be no extravagant gestures, no attempts to buy Lucas's affection. "He doesn't need your money, Liam," Anna warned. "He needs your time." Liam took her words to heart. On his first day with Lucas, he picked him up from school. The boy greeted him with a mix of excitement and shyness, clutching his backpack. "Hi, Lucas," Liam said, kneeling to meet his son's eye level. "How was your day?" "It was good," Lucas replied, his green eyes curious but hesitant. "Mom said we're going to the park?" "That's right," Liam said, holding out his hand. "Let's go." At the park, Liam learned more about Lucas in one afternoon than he ever could have imagined. Lucas loved animals, dreamed of becoming a vet, and had a fascination with dinosaurs. As they played together, the boys' laughter rang through the air, filling a hole in Liam's heart he didn't know existed. Anna, watching from a distance, couldn't deny that Liam was trying. Slowly but surely, she saw glimpses of the man she once loved, a man now driven by more than ambition, but by the desire to be a better father. Months passed, and a new rhythm began to take shape in Liam's life. The once obsessive tech mogul now prioritized afternoons at the park, school events, and Lucas's endless questions about animals and space. His office, once a fortress of innovation and high-stakes meetings, now featured a corner filled with toys and books for Lucas. For Anna, seeing Liam transform into a devoted father stirred feelings she hadn't allowed herself to entertain in years. He showed up consistently, proving with actions, not words, that Lucas was now the center of his world. One weekend, Liam suggested a trip to the aquarium. "Lucas will love it," he said, his eyes lighting up. "We can make it a family outing." Anna hesitated. They had been co-parenting well, but the idea of a family outing felt loaded with unspoken implications. Yet, when she saw Lucas's face light up at the suggestion, she agreed. The trip was a turning point. Watching Liam and Lucas bond over the jellyfish exhibit, Anna saw a side of Liam she had never known. He wasn't the driven, impatient man she remembered, but a father who knelt down to Lucas's level, explaining the mysteries of the ocean with genuine awe. Later, as they walked through the acrylic tunnel surrounded by sharks and rays, Lucas grabbed both their hands, one on each side. The three of them stood there, silhouetted by the glowing blue light. A fleeting moment of unity. "Thank you for this," Anna murmured to Liam as Lucas ran ahead to see the penguins. Liam turned to her, his voice soft. "You gave me a second chance, Anna. I'll never stop being grateful." The aquarium trip marked the start of something neither dared to name, but both felt growing. A fragile but undeniable hope for a future together. A year after the canceled wedding, Liam and Anna found themselves in a new chapter, one defined by quiet progress and shared moments. Lucas now saw his father regularly, and the three of them often spent weekends together, forming a bond that had once seemed impossible. It was during one such outing, a simple picnic in Golden Gate Park, that Liam took a step he had been considering for months. Lucas was busy tossing a frisbee with Liam's mother, who had grown close to her grandson, while Anna sat on a blanket, sipping lemonade. Liam joined her, sitting closer than usual. "Anna," he began, his voice steady but tinged with emotion. She looked up, sensing something serious. "What is it?" Liam hesitated for only a moment before reaching into his pocket and pulling out a small box. "I know I have a lot to make up for," he said, opening the box to reveal a delicate ring with a simple emerald, a nod to Lucas's bright green eyes. "But I also know I don't want to go another day without asking this. Will you marry me? Not for Lucas, not to fix the past, but because I love you, Anna. I always have." Anna stared at the ring, then at Liam, her emotions overwhelming her. "Liam," she began, tears forming. "I told myself I'd never go back to that chapter of my life. But you're not the same man you were then." She paused, her lips curving into a smile. "Yes, I'll marry you." From across the field, Lucas saw them embracing and sprinted toward them. "What's happening?" he asked, breathless. Liam lifted him high into the air, grinning. "We're going to be a family, buddy. A real family." Under the setting sun, with Lucas cheering and Anna laughing, the moment felt like a promise, not just of love, but of a future built on trust, forgiveness, and hope. 6 months later, Liam and Anna stood in the backyard of their modest but charming home, surrounded by their closest family and friends. The extravagant displays that once defined Liam's life were absent, replaced by simple wildflower arrangements and fairy lights strung between trees. Lucas stood proudly as the ring bearer, wearing a small suit and a radiant smile. "Don't mess this up, Dad," he joked, earning laughter from the guests. Anna's mother adjusted her daughter's simple, elegant white dress, her eyes brimming with pride. Grace, Liam's mother, embraced Anna before stepping back to watch her son take his place beneath the floral arch. When Anna walked down the aisle, holding Lucas's hand, Liam's heart swelled. This wasn't the grand spectacle he once envisioned, but it was perfect in ways he could never have imagined. The officiant began the ceremony with a few heartfelt words about love and second chances. When it came time for the vows, Liam's voice cracked with emotion. "Anna, you've shown me the true meaning of family and love. I promise to always put you and Lucas first, to build a life rooted in trust and kindness. I'm grateful for this second chance, and I won't take it for granted." Anna, her voice steady, responded, "Liam, we've been through so much, but here we are, stronger, wiser, and together. I promise to love you as you are, to face life's challenges with you, and to cherish the family we've created." When they were pronounced husband and wife, Lucas was the first to cheer, running to hug them both. "We're official now," he exclaimed, making everyone laugh. The evening unfolded in laughter, heartfelt toasts, and moments of quiet reflection. As Liam and Anna danced under the string lights to a soft acoustic version of their college song, they felt the weight of the past lift. Years later, as their family grew with the arrival of twin daughters, Olivia and Emma, the lessons of their journey continued to guide them. They were a family forged in resilience, proof that love could heal even the deepest wounds. Under the same stars that witnessed their struggles, they built a life defined not by wealth or power, but by the unshakable bonds of love and second chances.